Well, first, let's make it clear what Mary Landrieu negotiated. What she negotiated is to make sure that her state in 2011 doesn't get Medicaid's legs cut out from under them, because what happened after Katrina, and that's also happened in my state, being a state that's prone to hurricanes as well, is because there was a spike in the income, and Medicaid payments to states are based on per capita income. There was a spike in people's income in Louisiana after Katrina because of the infusion of construction dollars, the infusion of federal assistance. So as a result, Medicaid payments in Louisiana are going to go down in 2011. What Mary Landrieu did was what every good legislator should do, and that's fight hard for her state to make sure.
But what about the governor's point that every legislator will fight,
to make sure that poor folks don't have to be left twisting in the wind, and fewer people won't get Medicaid in Mary Landrieu's state. Now they will. And I think it was great that she fought hard for her state.
But Morgan, doesn't it look like sausage being made?
Oh, honey, well, I'm not a cheap date either, so I'll take that $100 million and put it toward my Neiman's bill. But it does look like sausage being made, unfortunately. And I'm all for Medicaid, and I have friends in Louisiana. I've worked in Louisiana, and I know some of the problems that they've gone through. So I don't fault her for wanting to get the Medicaid taken care of for her state and her people. It does look not so great when it looks like a vote was bought and a vote for right now. If I were saying this, I would not vote for try to get the payment right now for cloture. I'd try to get the payment for getting the bill through. I don't know what she's going to try to hold up for getting bill through, and other senators as well. I think that's where it's a bit disappointing. This should be about health care, and it should be about doing what's best for the American people, for all of the people.
It is about health care.
Oh, but hold it, ladies. Talking about doing what's best. Coming up, what's with this recommendation that women under 50 not be screened for breast cancer? Is that as dumb an idea as it sounds?
Women in their 40s have a very aggressive kind of breast cancer. They tend to progress fast, and to not screen women in that age group is astounding to me, and it goes against the bulk of individuals who are actually caring for patients. You may save some money, Chris, but you're not going to save lives.
There's Bernadine Healy, former director of the National Institute of Health, on Fox News Sunday with Chris Wallace this morning. One of my guests tonight, Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz, was diagnosed with early-stage breast cancer at the age of 41, and we can all guess her feelings about the assessment of this group, the U.S. Preventive Services Task Force, that women under the age of 50 forego routine breast cancer mammograms. What about it, Congresswoman?
Oh, their recommendations are disturbing. I think they make absolutely no sense. And they're incredibly insensitive. To suggest that we only save one life for every 1,900 women screened, which is essentially what the task force is saying, and that those 1,900 women are going to be caused some kind of angst or anxiety or worry about an unnecessary biopsy here or there to save one life. If you're that life, Geraldo, it really matters to you. I sort of feel like I was that one life when I was diagnosed at 41. If those recommendations were in place when I did my own breast self-exam and found the lump and was diagnosed at the earliest stage, I may not have been here to be doing this interview with you. So I think the recommendations are ridiculous. But so does the American Cancer Society and the Komen Foundation, the Secretary of Health and Human Services, Kathleen Sebelius. So I expect that those recommendations will be set aside.
But because they came from a group appointed by this administration, the HHS, no. Hold on a second. Okay, who impaneled that group?
All 16 members of the task force were appointed by the Bush administration. Not a single one of them was appointed by President Obama. All 16, and you can check the dates, were appointed by the Bush administration. They are an independent task force that was appointed by the Association for Health Quality Research. They are independent, and they are a purely advisory panel. But nonetheless, their recommendations are absolutely wrong, and every major cancer organization, every medical professional that I've heard that is a cancer advocate has come out against them in the last week.
Well, it is interesting. I didn't know that they were Bush appointees.
All 16.
Let me ask Governor Huckabee then. That sounds like that panel is in favor of the kind of death panels that Sarah Palin spoke about, I think, with what seemed to me reckless rhetoric at the time. But isn't this an example of, an industry or a professional group advocating rationing that will have real human consequences?
Well, it will have real human consequences. As a governor who fought very hard to get legislation passed in my own state that gave women access to mammograms, made sure that there was adequate capability for anyone to get a breast exam. This is an important way to save women's lives, and it's a lot less expensive to prevent an illness and to diagnose one than it is to wait until somebody is in an advanced stage. It was a boneheaded decision. I don't care whose administration is responsible for it. We need to be worrying about how to help more people to get screenings. And I think it's great that Dr. Healy and Kathleen Sebelius and others have come out. But the one thing that this points out, this is why I think a lot of us are very concerned about giving government more access, more control, more involvement in day-to-day health care decisions. This is a government that couldn't deliver the H1N1 vaccines on time. A month and a half late,
Geraldo,
only 20% of the vaccines,
right now
and
we
they
have
want the whole health
insurance
care
company
program.
bureaucrats
That music
in between
means I've
patients and
got to
doctors.
take a pause in the conversation. I've got to take a break. Coming up, we round out Palin coverage with this vital question: is this Newsweek cover sexist or sexy?